Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Rick and welcome to Rad Garage. So today what I thought I would do is, it's been a while since I've had a wash and chat opportunity, so I thought I would take one today. I've got a few hours here to perform a car wash, a very badly needed maintenance wash on my 2018 Audi SQ5. I don't really have the time to dedicate to doing a theatrical, cinematic cut for this, so I thought I would shorten the process, but also take this opportunity just to talk to viewers a little bit about the car, a little bit about my car wash process, the garage, and some exciting things that are coming up this spring. So thanks for tuning in. What I'll do is I'll bring the camera in a little closer. We're going to start with the wheels. Like I said, this car is absolutely filthy, so let me just get this camera readjusted here and we'll get started. Okay, so like I was saying, no time for cinematic shots here, just work, work, work. Here we go. I'm going to start just by, I always test before firing the pressure washer gun at the car that all the components are in place. I'm sure, like some of you, I've had a few close calls in the past, so I'm really careful about that, but here we go. So my tire cleaner of choice today is one of my favorites. I've got Adams all-in-one tire and wheel cleaner, and I have that in my trusty 1.5 alkaline IK continuous sprayer. Produces these satisfying bubbles. I'm going to start with the tire first. I like to start with the tire first. And these are my winter tires. These are my Nokian 𝗧𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 R5s, which I've had for, I don't know, about 4 months now. I really enjoy them. Not only are they excellent in snowy, icy conditions, but the ride comfort on my car has been elevated way more than I expected. Very comfortable, capable tire. You'll have to pardon any grunting. The Viper chair I'm working on doesn't exactly go low enough, so I'm having to bend over, and I find that just, I don't know, makes me grunt. All right, tires clean. Let's hit the wheels. Making sure I get some bubbles in the old wheel barrels and on the calipers. Let's let that dwell for a second or two. All right, so the weather has been really mild for the last few weeks here in Calgary, but I was watching the forecast earlier today, and we're heading into a bit of a bad week. We're going to get a lot of snow, and the temperatures are going to plummet. So I thought, better get on this car now, because it's going to get dirty fast, but I don't like the salt dwelling on this car for any length of time, let alone over a week. All right. So luckily I've got some time today between hockey practice and other familial responsibilities. I am budgeting about 2 hours for this process. So I'm using my Easy Detail blue wheel brush. I have the red version, but it's starting to get a little old, so I think it's time to retire it and get this blue one into some action. And I find it's got the right amount of balance between soft bristles and stiff handle. You can see it's really drawn a lot of grime out from that wheel barrel. This car sees such a heavy amount of road debris and mud and rocks. But these TSW Sprint alloys have really stood the test of time. I've had these. This is their 6th winter. And the finish on them is still amazing. So a bit of a testament to the build quality, but also the maintenance that they receive. All right, so that's got the barrels. What I do now is I have this 𝗖𝗿 wheel mitt that I've cut in half. And I just like to go over the spokes all 360 degrees with this really nice microfiber wash mitt that like I said, I've cut in half. I'm not looking forward to a foot of snow, which should be coming tonight. So I'm not going to spend 6 hours on this wash knowing what the car's ahead of. My goal today is just get the layer of salty crust off. Luckily, I don't have any imperfections in the paint as far as like chips or anything like that, because what I find in these parts is if you have a chip in the paint and the salt from the road has any amount of time to dwell, you are going to eventually see corrosion happening. And I'm happy to report at this point, I do not see any of that evident anywhere on my vehicle. Again, testament to the quality of this Audi's paint, but also my pedantic maintenance schedule has something to do with it, I'm sure. All right, I'm just going to go over these little ridges here now that I've got the spokes front and back clean. There's a lot of profile on these wheels, so I really feel you need to get in there with your hands in order to make sure you've got all the little angles. All right, I'm just going to now hit a couple of these more tricky spots on the calipers with this Blackline brush. And I'll also get the lug nut. There we go. All right, that should be good. I'm just going to pressure wash all this soap and dirt away. And that's the first of 4. Now, what happens in this garage is the more I use the pressure washer, the more humidity builds up. So what I usually do is take a little break after I'm finished all 4 wheels. Just going to move the camera over here. I usually take a little break and let the dehumidifier do its job. Let me get this all focused here. I find in the winter, I try to do this once a week, but the weather really adds a component of challenge. There we go. Let's hit the back here now. I don't get crazy about the wheel arches. They get so dirty so fast. I'm not going to waste a whole bunch of water and a whole bunch of my time and product when they're not going to stay clean for more than 10 minutes. So I give them a little spray. I give them a little spray just to say I did, but I have no delusions that those are going to stay clean at all. We'll do the tire first again. I'm not sure you can hear that. That's the water draining into the catch basin, which holds about 35 or 40 gallons. So like I was saying before, this car is, well, the wheels are about 6 years old, so is the car. I got this in September of 2017, so it'll be 6 years old pretty soon, and it's still my favorite car I've ever owned. I just love it. Had a little issue with it recently. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen some pics of it. It looked like it was slammed, and then in another pic, it looked like it was a lifted 4x4. I had some issues with the air suspension, which normally I love, but the sensors, the sensors gave out, and it's like I was coming home from, of all places, the grocery store, had to get some bread, and all of a sudden, it felt like I was driving in a chuck wagon. There was like no suspension cushioning at all. And the car was like really up high in the front and squatting in the rear. And it was during this really massive snowstorm we had, and the roads were super icy. But because my suspension was gone, I had to go very, very slow with my four-ways blinking. So I looked like someone who was very uncomfortable driving in winter weather, which I am not. But anyway, I limped it home, and I called my friends at 𝗖𝗿 because I needed to get it to the dealer, still under warranty. I've got the extended warranty on it. And yeah, it was weird. I got out of the car, and all of a sudden the front end went high, and the rear end went and squatted down. So I'll show some pics. Anyway, it was an easy fix. It only took one day at the dealer to just replace those sensors. It's weird both would go at the same time. I don't know. I can't explain these things. They tried to say it had something to do with the snow. I'm like, this car's seen snow for 6 years. I don't think that was it, but it's all fixed now. I really love the air suspension. My friend down the street lent me his A4 all-road for a few days while we were dealing with getting the car fixed and getting it returned home and blah, blah, blah. And great car, but it doesn't have the air suspension, and I could feel it. The air suspension is just like, well, it's like riding on air. But it still gives you that responsive handling. Anyways, it's all fixed now. Apart from that little blip, ownership of this car has been a real pleasure. Very few things have ever gone wrong. I had an issue with my gas cap, or the fuel door actually, not the gas cap, but the fuel door was getting, I don't know, a little sticky, and then in cold weather, I got hung out to dry when we were out of town. I went to fill up on a really, really cold day in Brooks, Alberta, and the fuel door wouldn't open. And there is an emergency line you can pull inside, and I pulled that, but it just was the actuator, just wouldn't move. So luckily, I got it open after a bit of frustration. But other than that, I can't think of any other things that I've had wrong with this car. get in the... Forgot to get in the lug nuts here. You can see why I like this Adams wheel and tire cleaner. It just lathers up so very easy. And when you have wheels this dirty, you need something that lathers up to keep the debris lifted off the surface so you're not scratching your wheels or causing these little micro abrasions. And this really has done the job for me. All right, I'm going to wheel my stuff over to the other side. I'll see you over there. Woo. Oops. Right. So the garage itself takes a little bit of work to keep clean during the winter months, and these car washes are actually doing double duty because before I started, maybe I should have shown you, the floor was a bit dirty from all the slop that falls off the car every time I bring it in. But after the car wash, just by, nature of all the soap and the water hitting the floor, I end up cleaning the floor at the same time. So when I'm all done here, I should not only have a clean Audi, I should also have a pretty clean garage floor. At least the surface that I walk on. Of course, all the dirt that is coming off this car on a daily basis is hitting the floor once it's traveled through the Swiss Trax RibTrax tiles. So even though the floor itself, the Swiss Trax flooring tiles will be clean, there is a substantial amount of dirt below. But I keep this garage dry and warm so that dirt usually is not existing in the form of mud. The water just evaporates into the air because of the heat. Dehumidifier sucks it out. Plus, we live in a very dry climate, so every time I open the big garage door, if there's any humidity in here, it's pretty much immediately escapes into the dry atmosphere outside. There's your little science lesson for the day. But I really enjoy the Swiss Trax floor. While I appreciate it might not be for everyone, it is really a saving grace for me. I can perform these washes like you're watching right now without slopping around in the water. And I just enjoy the way it looks. Just the comfort level of always having a dry surface to walk on means I don't end up traipsing dirty mud all over the garage and into the house, into the car. I've done a number of videos that outline what I like about it. And funny enough, those videos seem to be way more popular over time than my cinematic car wash videos. But I could see that because people are wondering, is this something that'll work for me? Let's go see if there's any videos out there. And people stumble across my Swiss Tracks videos, and a lot of times they ask me questions. Once in a while, someone will rip into me telling me what a bad idea it is. Love those. But the truth of the matter is, no one system's going to work for everybody. I'm glad I took the plunge years ago, and it's paid off for me. But by no means am I the kind of person who says, this floor is the floor that everyone should have. It's the best floor. Really depends on where you're at and what you need. Lovely. What I'm going to do is just turn on my dehumidifier here. We're at 75% humidity. We were at 55 when I started. Thanks to my friend Pan for recommending that Frigidaire dehumidifier. It'll suck moisture out of the air at about 5% per 10 minutes. So I should be back down to, it might even be faster than that. I should be back down to a comfortable 50% in, I'd say, 20 minutes. When I use the foam stage, when I rinse off the foam, this place will become foggy. So I usually have a coffee or a snack and let the dehumidifier regulate the air. A lot of people ask why I don't pressure wash after the hand wash stage of my process. And a lot of it does have to do with keeping the humidity level low. I find just using a garden hose spray doesn't increase humidity whatsoever, whereas I'd be looking at, well, 100% humidity, which slows me down because then I need to regulate that humidity. I think I might have got the camera a little wet there. Sorry, camera. Let's give you a little. How are we? Okay. Final wheel. I'm not used to chatting while I work on a car like this. I'm usually somewhere deep in my mind, in my subconscious, thinking about life. So you'll have to pardon me if there's quiet gaps. It's just like a lot of you, I find this whole process peaceful and serene. So time to time, I just sort of fall into a trance. But why don't we wrap up the conversation about this car before I finish all these wheels, and we'll move on to other topics. Because coming up is the foam stage, which is my favorite by far. But like I said, this is a 2018 SQ5. I bought it in September of 2017. When I purchased it, on top of the 4-year factory warranty, I opted for a 3-year extended warranty, which is halfway gone now. And my plan at present is to hold on to this car long term. So maybe 10 years, who knows? We'll see. It is the longest I've ever owned a vehicle. Usually I would part with a vehicle about 6 months before the factory warranty expires. I just find in where I am, you usually get top dollar for your used car if there's a bit of warranty left. But this car's too good to let go. I've taken way too good of care of it, and it's never let me down, other than made me look a little silly the other day, like I was saying earlier on the way back from my bread run when the suspension blew. But other than that, it's been remarkably reliable and an absolute joy to drive. It's got all the power I'll ever want or need. I like the look. I like the options. It's super capable in the snow. Like, I don't think there's a car out there that'd give, there's a few that would probably give it a run for its money, but I have been just so grateful for the confidence with which it allows me to drive in any kind of weather condition. Let me say, I have seen them all. And this Audi SQ5 has always impressed me. But at some point, I think we'll need to add a second car as my son gets a bit older. He's 12 now, and you know, his activities are picking up. So Mom and I are trying our best to stay a one-car family, but there's times where we feel like the family just needs to be in 2 places at once, and we'll see. Maybe a little later I'll talk about some of the cars I've been considering, but that won't be for at least 2 more years. Okay, that does it for the wheels. Let's get the camera set up so we can watch the foam. All right, hopefully you can hear me over the sound of my dehumidifier doing its job. For this wash, I decided to try Blackline Ballistic Extreme Foaming Car Shampoo, and I'm using the Blackline foam cannon. I think I'm terrible with names. I hope I'm correct. And Ryan sent me these products, I think last summer. So thank you to Ryan. God, I hope that's your name, Ryan. All right, here we go. Won't be able to take you all the way around the car. I just... Oh, ran out of hose. A lot of people ask me, how do I avoid getting foam over everything? And it really just comes down to my use of angles. I've been in this garage for almost 12 years, so I can pretty much foam a car with my eyes closed and keep foam off of everything else. Does get a little tricky at the back because I don't have as much room to operate back there, but it's a really nice cannon. This Blackline cannon. I should probably make sure I link all the stuff I'm using in the video description, which I will. Oh, those little wheel things are, tell ya, hoses drive me crazy. Doesn't matter what I do. I've had very little cooperation in my lifetime from hoses. Oh geez. Run out of foam. So give me a second here to throw a little more foam in the old canister. She was a little dirtier than usual today, so I maybe went a little overboard. That should be enough it's just the rear bumper. In fact, why don't I take you back there? By far the dirtiest part of the car is the rear door, rear bumper. Just gets destroyed. Just going to use up the rest I've got here. Okay, that was fun. So I'm going to let that dwell for about 5 minutes. I might hit a few spots where the dirt likes to hide with my detailing brush, and one such spot is the gap below the rear sun or windshield. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, for that gap there, I really like this boar's hair brush I bought years and years ago by Griot's Garage. Who knows if they made it, but that's where I got it. So I find it really does a good job of, look at that, look at that. Looks like swirled chocolate at the Flames game. Look at that. So I'm not on the paint. I'm just in the little gap where the window is, and it's one of those places dirt just loves to hide. I'm also going to get on the inside of this wiper blade, because man, does it get dirty back here in the winter. Okay. You know what, that's the only thing I need to do today. I put a lot of faith in my pressure washer. This foam is really effective. Like this rear deck was just like covered, caked, and it has all liquefied. Like, it's a really good foam. Ballistic, Blackline Ballistic, good stuff. I've got about 10 foams that I love, and it's up there with all of them. Just gonna do a little walk around here. Yeah, so this next phase involves a lot of humidity getting kicked up into the air for how dirty that car is, I can see right now there, like, that foam did an amazing job. All right, just gonna test, make sure my nozzle's safe. Yeah, here we go. I start from the bottom and work my way up. And this gap here between the lower rocker panel and the door panel is wide, and a lot of dirt accumulates in that gap. And it's part of the reason I don't really like doing a rinseless wash, is because you can't really get in there. You need the pressure washer to get in there. Yeah, the humidity level is going to get pretty bad here, so I got to go quick. I'll just take you around the back. One little way I cheat with the humidity is I forgot, I crack the door a little bit. That should help a little bit. All right, it's getting a little foggy in here, so I'm just going to give it a second. I've got the door open, which allows for a little ventilation. It's not too cold out today, I can do that. Dehumidifier's running. Should take a couple of minutes to bring it back down a little bit so that it's not, you know, cloudy. I'm just gonna move the camera in the meantime. You see how cloudy it's getting in here now? Forgot the side mirror on that side, and we're done. Okay, time to roll up the pressure washer hose, let the garage dehumidify, and then I'll hit it with the hand wash. And I'm going to use a new wash mitt from Autofiber. Going to give the CarPro Merino wool mitt a rest today and try this new wash mitt I got in the January glove box. So we'll see you in a few minutes once things have defogged. All right, this place aired out quicker than usual. I've got, what do I got in here? I got Atomic Suds. I got that new Carmistry Atomic Suds car soap in the bucket. Got my rinse bucket here with fresh filtered water. I'm just going to pressure wash, send a little jet of pressurized water in here to get the suds really going. Kind of like making a latte, steamed milk. All right. So like I said, I got this new wash mitt. It's red and gray. So we're going to use that today as our wash media. It's got a tight pile and then a thick pile side to it. I'm kind of liking this gray side. Reminds me a little bit of my regular merino wool mitt that I love. So I don't know. It's got this foam inside that's kind of, I don't know. It's got this foam in here. Not sure about that foam. I'm gonna take it out and just try it like that. I don't like a heavy wash mitt. All right. Oh, I like it a lot more without that extra foam in there. More responsive, not so clumsy and cumbersome. Oh, yeah, I like this. All right. I think it's imperative on these dirty winter washes that you use 2 buckets. I will admit there's times in the summer where I just use the 1 wash bucket. I don't see the need to rinse the mitt. I know that sounds terrible, but it is the truth. But on these washes, it just takes 1 little speck of salt or sand or stone, and you can cause some problems. Don't want to take that chance. So I've got these grit guard buckets with, I don't know what they call them. They're not just the grit guards that are at the bottom. They're almost like a washboard. I've got it in the rinse bucket to help me keep the mitt clean and contaminant free. But I'll be honest, this car was 93% clean after that pressure rinse. I am seeing no dirt whatsoever coming off at this point. It's a testament to like the quality of soaps that are out there now, foaming car washes, and also the pressure washer that I have, this AR North America 630 TSS is just It's just the bomb diggity. I think that's what the kids say. It slaps. That's what they say. My pressure washer slaps. So one thing I see where I'm from is a lot of rust on the back of SUVs, and some of them are actually very new. And my theory is the back of the SUV gets so dirty in the winter, and it's inevitable that someone comes along and just grazes their fingers or something against the paint, causing just a little scratch that gets a bit too deep. And then with the amount of salt that accumulates on the back of there, it really speeds up the corrosion. So I've seen that so many times that it's got me super paranoid. So I try my best to not let the salt sit there for too long, but I'll be honest, it's a losing battle. But I'm happy to say at this point, there is nothing on this car that gives me any worry whatsoever with regards to rust and corrosion. Part of the reason I can't bear to think of parting with this car is that good luck finding a car that's seen 6 winters and has so little issue as this one. It's had 2 door dings in its life. Someone backed into it a few years ago and wrecked the OEM grill. But other than that, there's no cosmetic issues with this car at all. Okay, let's go to the other side now. So the color of this car is Daytona Gray Pearl. It's a lovely, lovely tone of gray with lots of sparkle, lots of life, very vibrant. And it's probably go down as a classic color because Audi's had it for at least 20 years. I've seen it on cars dating back 20 plus years. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the paint itself or just overall, but it's just such a quality paint. It's very, like I've had some cars in the past that were very prone to scratches. Didn't matter what you did. It seemed like if you just even looked at it, you'd get these little scratches, whereas this paint has been so durable. I couldn't be happier. And I won't say it hides dirt, but it definitely is better than some cars I see at hiding dirt. Though the kind of dirt we see here, there is no hiding. It's pretty obvious. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab my stool because I hate bending over when I'm talking on a mic. All right, let's take a load off here and get the lower portions of these doors. All right, again, I was in a trance there. I forgot you guys were even here. I'm thinking about April, when I'll be attending a very exciting event down in Chicago, which will bring together some of the top product companies in the detailing game, some of the top detailers, some of the top YouTube influencers, and yeah, more to come on that. It's and I actually got the plane ticket sitting in my Apple Wallet, so I'll be in the Chicago area from April 26th to the 30th. I believe it's is it a Wednesday to a Sunday or a Thursday to a Sunday? And I'll be creating a lot of fun and exciting content with fellow YouTubers, companies. It's very exciting. I can't give too much away because the person organizing it hasn't really said anything about it yet, but hopefully they will, and then I can give you more details soon. But yeah, that's going to be fun for me. Last time I was in the Chicago area, I was co-piloting my friend Jason's R8 in the Crown Rally. We had a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to being back in Chicago. I just love Chicago. Yeah, so more exciting news to come. Make sure you're on my Instagram at rad.garage. And I'll be able to share more of that in the weeks to come. But for now, I think we're ready. Just doing the grill up front here. I think we're almost ready to rinse this bad boy off and start the drying process. And it's only been an hour or less. Normally when I'm filming this kind of thing, it takes 10 times as long. Just want to get the front end a little bit more here. It's funny, in the winter you would think the front end gets dirty, but compared to the back, it's nothing. In fact, the part of the car that stays the cleanest, I think, is the hood. Maybe the roof. The sides just get hammered, and the back, and the... Oh, don't even get me going about the wheel arches. Oh, God. I'll be cleaning them out in the spring. Probably be 30 pounds of dirt. I'm not even exaggerating. Okay, tell you what. I'm in the mood to use the pressure washer again because this place is airing out so nice. Let's do it. All right. Final rinse. maybe just a few parts of this floor are still a little dirty. Just a little bit short of hose here to get the back. Drop that. Okay, this car is sufficiently clean. Time to dry it up. Humidity's at 90. So I'll take a little break here, hydrate myself, and I'll come back at it with the towel and probably the Master Blaster. So we'll see you in a few. All right, time to dry. I used to be, I just wasn't a fan of toweling to dry, but it's grown on me. I found some great little towels. This is called Twisted Rain by 𝗖𝗿 I don't think it's available everywhere, but I love it. It's small. It doesn't get too heavy. Like, how quick was that? It got the whole hood dry in about 5 or 6 strokes. But I still do go over a car with the Master Blaster because there's just so many places the water hides. And because we are sometimes below 0 Celsius, if you have water in different little cracks and crannies, it can freeze up on you. So I try to get it as dry as I can, and I find the Master Blaster just can't be beat that way. I know some people use leaf blowers. They're pretty cool too, but I've had the Master Blaster for probably 10 years now. It's just a beast. And I like the fact that the air is warm. So it's one of my favorite tools. So I've also got a new 𝗖𝗿 drying towel. I think it's called Sunset. It's a little bit different. It's not as twisted loop like this one is. It's more of a dense microfiber. So when this one gets too wet, I transfer over to that one. But I probably have a dozen towels that I enjoy using. Yeah, I could tell this one's not really, it's just moving the water around, so I'll hang this one up. Hang that to dry, and then this is the orange one I was talking about. And then after every maintenance wash, I'll use some sort of detail spray because I inevitably get watermarks. Plus, I like the benefit of a spray with SiO2 just to help keep the coating fresh. And the coating on this car, I mentioned it in the last video I did, is pretty old. And I think it's severely compromised. It's nowhere near 100%. I'm sure in certain parts of the car it's absolutely gone. But I need spring to hit before I can even think about doing a project like that. Because it will require me to do a very light polish. Not to get any marks out. There's no marks on this car, despite what a few smart-ass YouTuber commenters might say. It's just that there is going to be some ceramic coating residue in spots, and the only way to really get rid of it is to polish it away. Because I'm not going to put down a fresh layer on top of an old layer. That's not the way I work. It's not the way any of us work. But this coating is, I want to say 2 years old, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm forgetting and it's been 3. Jury's still out on what I use, but like I said in my last video, I always lean towards the Geons. One other big advantage of the Master Blaster is drying the tires and the wheels. I don't know how people do that with a towel. How do you people dry your wheels if you don't use a blower? Mysteries. And the honeycomb grill. Oh my gosh, without a blower, I'd be there 20 minutes, 30 minutes just doing the grill. Okay, so that's it for the towel dry. Now it's time to finish off with the Master Blaster. This will get noisy, so I might turn the mic down on this one. Okay, so there you have it. It's all clean and dry. I did notice a few spots when I was drying, some dirt got blown out. So one of the reasons I go over it at the end with a detail spray, especially down here, you can see some splashed mud. But I've got a 350 GSM towel that I really like to use. And I think I'll use the Jack's Wax Graphene Detailer that I received recently. That'll be how I finish things off. So yeah, if you have any questions about my process, feel free to ask. I take great pride in responding to all comments and questions, even those ones that aren't very complimentary, although those are quite rare. But it's been fun having a chance just to connect with you guys. And I hope the weather is treating you well wherever you are. If you want to see my process with a little more cinematography added in, there's a lot of videos on my channel. But those of you regular viewers, you know that I always aim to showcase the beauty. Oh, look at that. Fell on the floor. I'm not going to use it, although I probably could get away with it with this floor. All right, back to what I was saying. Thanks for joining me. I'll make sure to throw some after footage in here at the end. And until next time, stay rad.